Hi guys, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Clangin and Bangin with Mikey, episode 97. And today, man, we're gonna talk about something that's near and dear to my heart. I'm not that big on the holidays, and when I say that, cause I'm not really that social. Believe it or not. But here I am every week. I do a podcast. I make music, and everything else. I actually went out last night too for the first time in a long time. Yeah, it was all right. Didn't really do much. I just went down to Waikiki and kind of just chilled out for a bit. Played tourist. Nothing really too crazy. Uh, but what I want to talk about, man, is what are you thankful for? And usually, I probably should have made a list for this, and I probably should be doing that for most of my episodes. But I pretty much just talk. There's no script. There's no, you know, majority of these episodes, I literally come up with them, up here, and boom, we talk about it. But I was thinking about this last night, and this morning, when I got up. So, what I'm grateful for, man, is I'm grateful for the lessons people have taught me. I'm grateful for the people who've came into my life, whether it's professional, personal, and I'm grateful for the things they tried to teach me. I'm grateful for, the people who are still in my life. Because at the end of the day, as I get older, everybody gets older too. Recently, back in June, I lost my grandmother, and that was really. I mean, I knew it was coming, because we were sitting in the hospital, and I had my mama called me and she said, "Hey, you might want to go visit Grams in the hospital," and we sat down with a conversation, and something told me to record the conversation, so I did. And 6 weeks later, she died. And it was crazy because the way she was talking about it was, the way she was talking about herself was like she already knew that death was coming to get her. And my grandmother, she was a Buddhist, pure Japanese, just this little short 4'5" Japanese woman who had the heart of gold. Never said nothing bad about anybody. Never smoked. Never drank. Never said nothing bad about nobody. I mean, of course, she had her opinions about certain things. But she was the type of person. She's like, everybody she met, she loved them. Everybody she met, she just was super, super friendly to them. And me growing up and me spending time with them, a lot of time with them. I picked up the same traits that she had. How she talked to people. Or how she was always trying to be understanding, even if it didn't make any sense to her. Even when I started making music, or when I started, lifting weights and everything too, like she didn't really understand it, but she supported. My grandmother, she lived on a different island, and different Hawaiian island. And every time she came through to visit us, she would always bring. She planted avocados, so she would always bring avocados, and these things were huge. It's like probably about yay big, right? And she'd always come through with like three or four of them, and she would say like, "Hey, well, I read somewhere the avocados are good for bodybuilders, man." And yeah, and that woman, man, she taught me so much. She's one of the few women in my life. She could just look at me and not say nothing. Like she'd just be like, and what? Yeah. So she was the type of individual that she just was always super friendly. And that's one thing I look back and I kind of start doing reflections around this time of the year anyway, because it's Thanksgiving and it's Christmas and it's New Year's. The last year's been kind of rough, man. I lost a lot of good people. Um, not not people who died. This like um yeah a lot of people who I wanted to be around forever. Um, and it just never worked out. My mother recently told me that this lady, she just died. It was obituary, and she was 40 years old and super healthy and everything. And she died giving birth. Um, so it's sad because you're 40 years old. You know, like you're super young and you're about to bring life into this world, and this happens. And so at the end of the day, man, be thankful for the people that you have in your life, and even to the people that I lost, and when I mean lost, I mean cut contact with and everything. It's always gonna be love of mine. It's never not gonna be that. Um, I just know that for this time period, we're better off apart than we are together. As much as I want you to be around, as much as I want you to be involved in my life, I know for a fact that these certain individuals, their their version of me that no longer exists. The version that they know is no longer exists, no longer just um, no longer available. And sometimes, man, when you upgrade, you have to leave other people behind that you necessarily don't want to do that, but you have to do it. So with that being said, man, with the holidays coming up, if you guys are able to, squash beefs, understand that, and I got to do it too, and understand that sometimes, man, the problem isn't the other people. The problem isn't you. Sometimes the problem is both of y'all. And if you're able to realize that what you're doing isn't conducive or healthy to the situation, then change. I once told this individual that I went out with, it was a long time ago. She had mentioned something like, "Oh yeah, well, like I don't get what I want, this and this and that when it comes to dating, yada yada yada." Like the more she talked, and then the more I found out that she basically tried to control the situation. And I said, "Yo, like if you're not getting what you want, then why don't you change your behavior?" You know, and she was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like because you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, and that's insanity. Like nobody does that, right? Like why would anybody want to be around somebody who wants to control their every move? And I, for one, I've never been like that. I don't understand people who are like that. I just think it's weird. I think it's strange. And with that being said, and it's unfortunate that certain people can't, get out of their own way, and they can't see what they're doing is actually detrimental to the situation at hand. But that's neither here nor there. Hope y'all keeping the 4Ps. Private player, positive pushing. See y'all next week. Love y'all, ghosts. And like I always say, know your worth. And with the holidays coming up, make those appropriate changes, man. Ghosts.